Hello and welcome to this Come to Jesus Daily Devotional. I trust you are well, and today we continue in our series in Luke exploring who Jesus is. And today's devotional is entitled, He Will Baptize with the Holy Spirit and Fire. Let's read from Luke 3:15-20. The people were waiting expectantly and were all wondering in their hearts if John might possibly be the Messiah. John answered them all, I baptize you with water, but one who is more powerful than I will come, the straps of whose sandals I am not worthy to untie. He will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and fire. His winnowing fork is in his hand to clear the threshing floor. He will gather the wheat into his barn, but he will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire. And with many other words, he exhorted the people and proclaimed the good news to them. But when John rebuked Herod the Tetrarch because of his marriage to Herodias, his brother's wife, and all the other evil things he had done, Herod added this to them all. He locked up John in prison. Luke 3:15-20. And what's the main idea today? Well, the main idea is this. We are to serve God with all our hearts, whilst entirely depending on the Spirit for any success. We are to serve God with all our hearts, whilst entirely depending on the Spirit for any success. John shows great humility as he ensures that the people understand that he is not the promised Messiah. John does not fall at this key moment of temptation when the people were wondering in their hearts if John might possibly be the Messiah. Unlike some, he doesn't start a new religion with himself as the great guru. He doesn't remain ambiguous so as to gain a following. I know that I would love more attention. I'm sure you would say the same. We all want, I think, more attention. But he keeps seeking to draw people's attention onto the coming Messiah, Jesus. His words recorded in John help to reinforce this idea. He said this, You yourselves can testify that I said, I am not the Messiah, but am sent ahead of him. The bride belongs to the bridegroom. The friends who attends the bridegroom waits and listens for him and is full of joy when he hears the bridegroom's voice. That joy is mine, and it is now complete. He must become greater. I must become less. What a wonderful picture, the bride and the bridegroom. Jesus. The church is Jesus' bride, not ours. May we all learn to say, He must become more. I must become less. A healthy Christian and a healthy church has this attitude and are kept from the many dangers that come from chasing after popularity. One of the striking things that John said in order to mark the greater ministry of Jesus Christ was this. He said this about his own ministry and Jesus' ministry. I baptize with water, but one who is more powerful than I will come, the straps of whose sandals I am not worthy to untie. He will baptize you with the Holy Spirit and fire. In saying this, John was saying that whilst he, John, could perform this ceremony of baptism, he could preach passionately, this baptism symbolized cleansing. Only Jesus could actually cleanse from sin and give new life and power by the baptism in the Holy Spirit. In referring to Jesus' baptizing in the Spirit and fire, it seems best to agree with what we read from Leon Morris, who wrote in his Tyndale commentary about this phrase, baptism in the Holy Spirit and fire. This is what he says. It seems best to see John as thinking of positive and negative aspects of the Messiah's message. Those who accept him will be purified as by fire, as we read in Malachi 3:1, and strengthened by the Holy Spirit. So this is humbling for all of us. None of us can actually change our or another's life. We, like John, are called to serve God and people in many ways. We're called to play our part in bringing people to Jesus. However, we must understand that our fruitfulness in ministry is entirely dependent upon the Holy Spirit and is to his glory, to the glory of Jesus. So in response, we are to serve God with all our hearts, whilst entirely depending on the Holy Spirit for any success. Are we, like John, focused on bringing glory to Jesus by fighting against the temptation to be popular and to chase popularity and celebrity? Secondly, do we know that fruitfulness comes from being in the vine by relying on the Spirit? Finally, this reference to fire speaks of God's continuing sanctifying work in us. This can be painful. Let's continually trust that God is developing us, even through the fire of painful circumstances. God bless you.